Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I'm just going to take a quick look at the markets, Bitcoin and Ripple in particular. After that we're going to talk about some Bitcoin price predictions that are pretty exciting and a very big new partnership for IOTA, and then some smaller stories on the side. But let's just get into it, shall we? Taking a look at the market today, everything is looking wonderful and nice and green. We can see IOTA going up 16%, part of this certainly due to the good news they have received that we're going to be talking about in a bit. Just scrolling down here, except for Zcash, everything in the top 20 is up, mostly for 1 to 3%, but that is a good step in the right direction. We see the market cap at 217 billion, inching closer towards 220. We see Bitcoin dominance still at around 53.3%. That is not likely to change much in the coming days if it continues moving like it has. Then at the prices, Bitcoin up almost 1%, Ethereum 1%, Ripple almost 2%, Bitcoin Cash 1%, EOS 4%, Stellar 2, Litecoin 1. It's just all looking very, very good right now. Vcash, VChain also up significantly. Very beautiful to look at. This is one of those happy days. It's a nice Monday morning. For me, it's Monday morning. You're probably watching in a different continent, on a different country, on a different continent, in a different country. Sorry, it's 11 a.m. here. Let's look at some of the price analysis for these. I have 2 pages open here from News BTC, one about Bitcoin, one about Ripple. Let's just read through these quickly together. Bitcoin price watch Bitcoin USD forming breakout pattern above 6.6. If you remember, 6.6 was the resistance level. Bitcoin price is trading in a contracting range with support above the 6,600 level against the US dollar. Here's a major contracting triangle in place with resistance around 6,740. On the hourly chart of the Bitcoin US dollar pair, the pair is likely to make the next move either above 675 or below 6.6 in the near term. Below 6.6 would of course be a break back into the last area we were trading in when we were stuck between 6.2 and 6.6 for a while. During the past few hours, there were many attempts to surpass the 6,750 resistance by Bitcoin price against the US dollar. The Bitcoin USD pair struggled to gain momentum above 6,750 and traded in a range. The last swing low was formed at 6,560 and before the price moved higher. The price traded above the 6610 level and settled above the 100-hourly simple moving average. There was also a break above the 61.8% fib retracement level of the last slide from the 6777 high to 6560 low. However, the upside move was capped by the 6750 resistance. I think this will be the resistance to look out in the near future. And looking at here, we are currently, let me just refresh that, we are currently slightly below it at 6725. And we can see it was always just about here. So that is the resistance we have to fight right now. More importantly, there's a major contracting triangle in place with resistance around 6740 on the hourly chart. The pair has to move above the triangle resistance and 6750 for more upsides. Should there be a break above the 6750 level, the price may well test 6829. Looking at the chart, if Bitcoin corrects lower, the triangle support at 6660 is likely to hold losses. Below this, 6610 and the 100-hourly moving average are likely to act as buy zones. Overall, the price is likely to make the next move either above 6750 or below 66. Now, when was this article written? This is from about 3 hours ago, and since then we have seen more movement in the exact same area. Let's just open the Bitcoin price for a moment. Look at the 1 day. We see the highest it went was around 6748, just below the 675 we need, and this was just after the article was written, and since then it has been trading in that area. We see it between 668 and 676 here, just going up and down. So we need to break that 6750 resistance. If we do, we are pretty much on track for the 7,000, and that is of course one of the major resistance levels. But looking here, we have been steadily, slowly but surely, gaining steam to go back to 7,000, which we fell below in the beginning of August. And right now it's looking like we might be able to reach it again soon. Now let's continue on to the Ripple price. Here I also have the analysis article. XRP USD broke key resistance, could test 34 cents. Ripple price formed a decent support near the 32 cent level and climbed higher against the US dollar. There was a break above a major bearish trend line with resistance at 324 on the hourly chart of the XRP USD pair. The pair is moving higher and it seems it could test the 34 cent level in the near term. Let's take a quick look at what it is doing right now, because this article is also a couple hours old. Right now we are at 329. And looking at the 1-day movements, we only want the US dollar price. We see it trying to break 33 cents and stay above it, but not being quite successful in that yet. But we've stayed pretty close, it hasn't dipped down. After testing the 31.2 support once again, Ripple price recovered higher against the US dollar. The Ripple US dollar pair traded above XRP, not Ripple. I keep making that mistake. When I say Ripple, I mean XRP. It's people use them interchangeably. I know that that XRP is the name of the token. Just if I say Ripple, I'm sorry, you know what I mean. The XRP US dollar pair traded above the 32 cent level and also formed a decent support base near 319 to 32. Later, the price started a fresh upside move and traded above the retracement level of the last slide. The price also traded above the 32.5 resistance, where we're still above, and the 100 hourly simple moving average. More importantly, there was a break above a major bearish trend with a resistance level of 324 on the hourly chart. The pair traded above the 326 level and is currently trading in a positive zone. Looking at the chart, Ripple price is trading with a positive bias above 3.2. We've seen that, it's about at 3.3 right now, just slightly below 3.3. The recent break is signaling more upsides above the 3.3 and 3.35 levels in the near term. Now, I think this analysis, I believe it was from around this time, a couple hours ago. Right now, we are holding steady here and 3.3 seems to be testing us a bit. I think this is looking like a very nice trend. Just look at the stability for the last 7 days. This is kind of crazy. The markets have been incredibly stable for the last week or so, probably more so than at any other point this year. And that is a good sign. I think we always see this before bullish trends break out. We see a couple months of prices sliding, and then they just get very, very stable at a point before they shoot up again. And I believe we might be at that point right now, with both Bitcoin and Ripple having traded very stably in a very narrow range for a while now. Moving on, we have someone supporting my point of view here. Fundstrat's Tom Lee, correlation between Bitcoin and emerging markets is sign of upcoming trend reversal. Fundstrat's Bitcoin analyst Tom Lee has claimed that the cryptocurrency could end the year explosively higher, citing a correlation between it and emerging markets. Lee has made his new prediction in an interview during CNBC's Trading Nation show on August 25th. The head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors has said that he still thinks it's possible that Bitcoin's price could surge to a high as $25,000 this year, which would be a new all-time high. Lee has based this assumption on the relationship between the price of Bitcoin and BlackRock's iShares MSCI Emerging Markets Exchange Traded Fund, which tracks large and mid-sized companies in emerging markets. The important correlation, according to Lee, lies in the fact that both markets are running somewhat parallel to each other, with both having really essentially peaked in early 2018, as well as both having been in a downward trend from then on. Here we can see them compared. The blue one is Bitcoin, and the red, yellow, orange one is the fund. I think it's the fund, wait. ETF. So we see the price drop in the. Actually, the scale here is completely off. This is a very misleading graphic. I'm sorry, I have to look at it for a second. This makes it look like the MSCI Emerging Markets Index fell more than a Bitcoin price, but Bitcoin fell from nearly 20,000 to a bit over 5,000. While the ETF fell from 0.46 to 0.36. So this is a very misleading graphic, and this is not professionally. I'm pretty sure this is CNBC's graphic. Yeah, source CNBC. This is not Lee's graphic, but CNBC has been doing shoddy work here. This is not acceptable. They should be proportional, but we still see that the movement itself is similar. According to Lee, recent trading activity shows that hedge funds have stopped buying into funds tied to emerging markets due to market sell-off risks, which in turn leads to reduced purchases of Bitcoin. As Lee believes a change in direction in emerging markets would signal a similar change in Bitcoin's trend. Until emerging markets begin to turn, I think in some ways that correlation is going to hold and tell us that sort of the risk on mentality is those buyers aren't buying Bitcoin. In the interview, Lee pointed out that the tide is changing for both Bitcoin and emerging markets, especially if the Federal Reserve slows down its interest rate hikes. In early July, Lee voiced his stance that Bitcoin could reach somewhere between 22 and 25,000 by the end of 2018. Earlier this month, Lee said that Bitcoin cannot be considered broken for as long as it keeps the current levels of price and volatility. Back then, he cited the numbers shown by Fundstrat's Bitcoin Misery Index, just an amazing name, a tool which measures how miserable Bitcoin investors are, based on the cryptocurrency's price and its volatility. So he is predicting a complete market reversal before the end of the year, and for Bitcoin to head well over its all-time high, possibly 25,000, likely around 22,000. Let's see if this will happen. It is certainly an interesting idea that these investments are tied to each other, and I don't believe it makes sense for a lot of the people in the crypto market, a lot of the amateur investors and the only crypto investors. But it does make sense for a lot of the traditional investors, the investment banks, the institutional investors, who are investing in both these things likely, to tie them together like that. Okay, next up we have some exciting news about IOTA. I don't believe I've even talked about IOTA at all yet on this channel, but IOTA, of course, another promising, relatively new project. And they now have a partnership with Fujitsu. Fujitsu, of course, one of the biggest tech companies in the world, very traditional, long-running company, slow to move. So slow to move because as a Japanese company, a lot of them are very traditional and usually very set in their ways and a bit wary of trying new technologies, getting into new markets. So this is interesting. IOTA will be the new protocol standard, says Japanese tech giant Fujitsu. Japanese multinational IT equipment and service company Fujitsu is all set to roll out IOTA as the new protocol standard, meaning that a lot of products will run on top of it. On 24th of August, IOTA Foundation made the announcement regarding the same on their official Twitter handle. Fujitsu is well equipped to help roll out IOTA as the new protocol standard, as we are experts in both IT services and the manufacturing of IT products. This is a quote by Leopold Sternberg, program manager at the Industry 40 Competence Center from Fujitsu. The initiative is titled Industry 4.0 Co-Create with Fujitsu. Leopold Sternberg, program manager, Industry 4.0 Competence Center of Fujitsu, stated that the primary aim of the project is co-creation. He said, "We want to develop and co-create innovative technology together with customers." And about IOTA, he said, "Fujitsu is well equipped to help roll out IOTA." This is the exact quote that we just got. According to the proof of concept document, product quality is a critical success factor for the manufacturing industry. Assembled products can consist of hundreds of components, and their production is based on complex processes. For audit trails in industrial production environments and supply chains, IOTA provides a single source of truth. This, of course, referring to the beauty of blockchain technologies, that everything is set, is clear, is secure. With this concept, Fujitsu focuses on two main goals: demonstrating the use case of IOTA as a data storage medium in a production environment. Keep this in mind, use cases, very important. I believe the cryptos that will still be around in a couple of years that will have gained a lot are the ones with the best use cases, and IOTA is surely looking like one that has good use cases. Another one, of course, Ripple XRP. And number two, engage with automotive industries and drive an IOTA-based innovation with Fujitsu's co-creation approach. The project offers three core benefits: transparency, trust in data, and data security, where IOTA will play the role of a cryptographically secure source of unified truth. On 25th of August, IOTA announced the launch of its much-awaited Trinity desktop beta wallet, which has caused a lot of excitement among members of the IOTA community. The codebase of IOTA has now been made open source. This is always good. Open source means that anyone with knowledge, anyone with programming skills can look at the code, can check that everything is okay, that everything is transparent, and in the crypto world you want transparency. IOTA also announced that it will be working with leading innovators and advocacy groups across the digital distributed ledger technology and the Internet of Things spaces to contribute in the making of public policy frameworks that are principled, effective, and innovation-friendly in the interest of the public. IOTA also hosted the Voices of Blockchain event in Chicago. The theme was connected vehicles, autonomous vehicles, e-mobility, urban mobility, and mobility services. So we see IOTA here aiming for the tech market, for the Internet of Things, for modern technologies that need to be interconnected, that need to have a secure, clear connection that has all the information, that has the exchange on it. And they seem to be getting great partnerships. So this is a very good sign for IOTA in my opinion. And now let's just end this video with two smaller stories because it has been going on for a while already. India's central bank quietly forms new cryptocurrency blockchain research unit. I just thought this would be interesting to quickly cite because this just means more countries are looking into cryptos, and that is always a good sign in my opinion. And this article hypothesizes that there might be a state cryptocurrency powered by blockchain on the way. And last but not least, an interview with the Coinbase UK CEO explains why a lack of regulation is the biggest problem facing cryptocurrency. This is a relatively interesting interview, but I just want to focus on the bit at the very end. We finished our interview on the topic of regulation and the effort by Coinbase to list tokens classed as securities. And he said, some tokens may be considered securities, and classifying them as such brings them within scope of regulation. This is the best way to provide individuals and institutions a safe environment to invest in them. The main challenge facing the crypto space at the moment is the lack of regulation, which leads to risk. We see the value in having some form of regulation for crypto exchanges as a means of ensuring due diligence and transparency in the crypto space. This is what I keep saying, and it's so nice to see important people in the crypto sphere echoing my sentiments. First of all, being a security is not something bad. A lot of people are scared about that. If anything, being a security means it gets taken into the realm of traditional finance products where everything is regulated, where it's secure, where banks, where investment bankers, where institutional investors know what they're dealing with and can assess their risks properly. And we need this. We need proper regulation. We need investors with millions, with billions flowing into the markets to feel safe, to know their risks. And regulation is part of that. And even if something is considered a security, that is not something to be scared of. That is actually, in some cases, a good thing. And this is where I want to end this video. Let me know what you thought about these stories in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, I am doing daily videos, so do subscribe, leave a like, all the good stuff, and thanks a lot for watching.